I think we're there, friends. I think we're there. Live we are, my friends, I believe. Up, we are live. Hey, flower friends. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and I am so glad to be here with you tonight. How about this? I cannot wait to talk about this tonight. This is one of my favorite late summer, fall flowers, fillers, and guess what, y'all? It's a cool flower. How about it? Beautiful, huh? But we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let me put them back. And let's get started here. So let me get my computer set up here. Y'all, I'm getting more and more confident with this, you know? Crazy. It just takes me a moment. So bear with me, friends. All right. All right, flower friends. Welcome to this cool flower show tonight. If we've never met before, my name is Lisa Mason Ziegler, and I'm the owner, founder of the Gardener's Workshop, and I have been a commercial cut flower grower for the past 2.5 decades, plus a little. And I am now on a mission to help other people to just grow great cut flowers. Whether you want to grow them for pleasure or for profit, we have the tools, seeds, supplies, training, information that you need to actually do it. So I run these shows on Wednesday night by myself. So if you're new here, I want to welcome you, but just bear with me because I'm doing a couple of things here tonight at the same time. So first of all, we are talking cool flowers, cool flowers, cool flowers tonight, y'all, because we are heading straight in to the time of the year for planting, preparing, seed starting, and if you can't plant in the fall, then it's definitely time for you to prepare for your very early spring planting. So we're going to talk about all that. So tonight I'm going to be talking about some of those that I'll be starting here before long, and also how I start them from seed. Y'all look at this. Carrots. Look how beautiful, how well these guys sprouted, right? We'll talk about that. I sprouted them in here. I have a terrible time sprouting carrots out in the garden. These are going to get planted tomorrow. So I'll be showing you my favorite way to seed start, which is soil blocking, which I just showed you. And as always, I am going to be doing a little live Q&A at the end. So if a question comes up, you can put it in the comments, and I'm watching us on our app also, and I will gather those up at the end. So in the comments, just put a question mark or question so I know to pull it out, and I'll answer those at the very end of the show. So before we dive in, just that normal housekeeping stuff, friends, because we have new people joining us on every single show, y'all. It's just so incredible, right? And we know it's because you guys share. And if you'd like to share with your friends that you're here at the live gardening show, that little share button is right at the bottom. That's this little button right down here next to the heart, which you can hit that and give me some love. But you can hit that share button and invite your friends or let them know you're here. And we know that I want you to know that we really appreciate when you guys do that. So the housekeeping is that, we also have a big website, right? And this app and our website do not communicate. So we ask that you always double check your email address and your phone number here in the app when you place an order, because if it's incorrect, we can't send you shipping information like tracking tickets, okay? And then the other thing is, if you're new here, you'll be in for a pleasant surprise. If you place an order with just seed packets, the shipping is on us, okay? But even if you do order products, the shipping is capped at $11.95. That means if you buy 6 products, you just pay $11.95. So that's capped We do ship to all 50 of the United States, and we do not have international shipping. So friends, if you have just come upon us on social media, I'm just so glad you found us. But what I want you to know is that we also have an app. It is totally free. And inside the app, you have much more access to stuff. For instance, you can participate in the Q&A. On Fridays when we do the live show, we do a giveaway each week. But you have to be in the app because we can't see you if you're not inside the app. The app is free. All you have to do is go to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop, and then download our shop app. It probably will take less than 60 seconds to go do that. And you can come right back here and we'll be here ready and waiting for you. But I tell you what, one of the funnest parts of this show is, especially when the team's watching, is the comment conversation that's going on. And when you're in the app, you get to be a part of that also. So would love for you to get our app. And then if you see people with posting the sunflower emoji, those are people that are giving us a big love shout out. Those are our what we call our TGW family. They are our students and members of our Flower Farmer Club. And I don't want to forget to say that our club membership is open. It's been open for about 5 days and it closes tomorrow night. So if you are at all interested in that, you can go to thegardenersworkshop.com and it's at the top of every page. You can click on it and learn more about it, and we have a lot of fun. We do meetups, I do resources, master classes, and there's a private community board, and y'all, it's just the best. So, let's see here. Why am I obsessed with cool flowers? You know, I launched my flower farming business on, they weren't called Cool Flowers back then, they were Cool Season Hardy Annuals. And what I discovered when I started growing Cool Season Hardy Annuals out of the gate was that while it is tricky to figure out when your planting time is, but once you figure it out, they're some of the easiest plants to take care of, y'all. They need less chores of watering because the temperatures are cooler, doesn't dry out as fast, and it's perhaps what really pushed me to become a flower farmer because I did have such great success. So you can plant, so what are cool flowers? Cool flowers are Cool Season Hardy Annuals. Cool Flowers is the name of the book that I wrote about this family of plants, about how to figure out when you should plant them, which is been the missing piece for decades, right? Our great-grandmas knew to do this, but they kind of fell off of our radar. So you can plant Cool Season Hardy Annuals in 2 really great windows. One of them is fall planting. You can fall plant any Cool Season Hardy Annual that is winter hardy in your winter hardiness zone. Then the second next best window is very early spring. Fall is 6 to 8 weeks before your first fall frost, and very early spring is 6 to 8 weeks before your last spring frost, much earlier than anybody thinks about. So the key is planting them into cool weather, cooling off soil or cold soil, and allowing them to get established before they have to face growing vegetation, growing stems, and facing heat and humidity. And when they get that great start in the cool conditions, y'all, the benefits, they just soar. I mean, I won't say that they're carefree because really no living plant is carefree, but I will tell you they need so little intervention when they have been planted at the proper time and become well established and just take off, and they're more disease and pest resistant. And it's just really very easy to understand why all that happens. And you just have to find your planting time, right? So let's look at some of the benefits of planting Cool Season Hardy Annuals in the fall or in very early spring. First off, for the gardener we're talking about, it's just nicer to plant garden then, right? Temperatures are cooler, and it's just a better environment to actually grow in, or to actually go out there and mess around in. But for sure, the plants are really happy with cooler temperatures, and what that leads to is less stress on our plants. And the thing that I found to be the best, because I'm the worst waterer, y'all, I am the worst, is because you're planting into cool to cold conditions, when it rains or you water, it lasts so much longer with no heat there to actually dry it out. So you basically have less watering chores, right? Plus, it rains and snows and ices more frequently. At least it does here in southeastern Virginia than it seems like it does rain. And that is the time of the year that pests are really just not even active, right? So there's less pressure on our actual plants. Now, how can you learn more about these? I have several different ways that you can do that. First off, our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com, is loaded with resources, many of which are free, y'all. So go to thegardenersworkshop.com, and then across the menu, across the top, it says, I think it says resources. Hit that drop down, and there's videos. Our blog is there. There's just a lot of resources there. And the other thing is, we actually title our shows, and you can go back when you're in the app. I can't show you now because we're actually live, but when you just go into the app when we're not live, you can scroll through the past videos and look for cool flower topics and watch the show. We have taught so much in so many places, y'all. And also, I am incredibly active on social media, all the platforms. You can, if you follow me at least on one, you can keep up with kind of what's happening and what's going on in the cool flower world. And then let me get over here and get my selection going here. So the best place to start, no matter what else you're going to do, is with the book, y'all. This is the Cool Flower book, my very first book ever. It's had its 11th year anniversary, y'all, and it sells more today than it did when it got published, which is actually the opposite of what most books do. This is a little easy read, y'all. It's only 160 pages long. This is the first bite. So I wrote this book based on my decades of farming, but I wrote it for the home gardener. A flower farmer can certainly apply the concept to a farm, but this is really targeted for the home gardener, and it tells you how to figure out when you're supposed to plant, and then how cool season gardening is different than warm season gardening. So the Cool Flower Handbook, when you purchase it from us, it comes with a free video book study. You know, every time I say that, I think I need to go back and watch that book study. That was the first one I ever made. We've done a couple since then, but it's like the behind the scenes. It's like what I meant, you know, what was behind me putting that in the book. And so I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Anyway, you get that from us when you purchase the Cool Flower book, and I sign all the books. Love doing that. I'm honored to actually do that. And so that's the book. That's the first step. Even if you're a flower farmer or a home gardener, that's the book to start with. If you have no experience, you know, you haven't done it yet, that's really the place to start. Now, I showed you guys some of my seedlings. These are so beautiful, y'all. And look at these. These are our vegetables to eat kale. But this is just a perfect example these are the soil blocks. This is like a 8-inch by 5-inch tray, and this is 40 little blocks on here, and they will grow in this block until I plant them out in the garden, and they'll get a little bit bigger. This is Black Magic Kale, and this was started 8/14. Today that's 13 days old, y'all. Look at them. Look how amazing they are. I was drawn to soil blocking because of the space savviness. That was out of the gate. You know, I still don't have greenhouses. I do all my seed starting in a 10 by 10 room here. The first years that I was